think we actually lost Aditi. Aditi, you're back. Yes, you were frozen for a second, but we cannot hear you. Can you try again? Is it only me?
Yeah, no, she's not here.
I see Aditi, she's here, but we cannot hear. I cannot hear her.
Me too.
Colleagues,
Yeah, we
digital technologies are not in our favor today. Please apologize for this.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
perfect. Uh, I don't know if you heard me kick off, but I'll start again. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to our first Urban Talk of this year. We have a really interesting lineup today where we're going to unpack a little bit about urban transformation, especially from the context of how green and digital transitions are linked and how digital solutions are really enabling these green transitions across cities, especially from the context of Europe and Central Asia. Before we go into the topic, just wanted to let you know that I'm Aditi Soni. I'm from the Regional Innovation Team of UNDP Eurasia, and I'll be moderating today's session. We have interpretation available in Armenian and Ukrainian. So if you look at your bottom right, you will find an interpretation button and you can select the languages from there and be in the language throughout so you can hear accordingly. We will have live interpretation throughout the session. In terms of the flow, we have. Sorry, just a second. We have five panelists today, where we have four panelists talking about different types of digital solutions that they are trying to implement within the region, and then we have an introduction about our Boost Accelerator program and how we intend on going about it for the upcoming cohort. So just to maybe set the stage around why this topic is relevant and what we are doing here. Across Europe and Central Asia, cities are facing a dual challenge. So there is a challenge and an opportunity here. On one hand, most everybody urgently needs to reduce emissions, protect ecosystems, make urban life more livable, more friendly for the citizens. And on the other hand, they are navigating a rapid rise of digital technologies that are reshaping everything we do, how we look at services, how people engage with their cities, and more. So these two shifts, the green and the digital transitions, are not separate. They are quite intertwined, and we are here to unpack a little bit about what this exactly means. And in this context, we're really speaking about twin transitions. So looking at green and digital together and how they can enable each other and go hand in hand to help cities be more inclusive, resilient, future ready. And we know that doing this is not easy. There are so many things that are at in the mix, and at the same time, we have new tools, new partnerships. There are new ways of looking at things and new ways of approaching urban challenges and urban transformation. And today, we're really here to unpack that. So, how can we really leverage what digital solutions can provide to enable better, forward looking, future ready urban systems that are also sustainable? So today's urban talk will be exploring exactly that. We will have speakers talking about different digital tools from mobile apps to how to use blockchain, programmable tokens, and how do we build programs that help actually cities work with these type of solutions and really pilot it in individual contexts. So without wasting further time, I will now hand it over to our first speaker, Branko Kursmanovic, who is the founder of City and Me, a digital platform that connects citizens and cities and companies through smart services and rewards everyday engagements and behaviors that are sustainable. Branko, so over to you. Looking forward to hearing what you have to share with everyone.
Thank you, Aditi, for this, and thank you all of you to have this opportunity to speak in front of all of you. I will now share my screen, and probably you see this green wall. Okay, thank you. So I will shortly present City and Me solution. So I call from Serbia. And Niš. This is the second largest city in Serbia, just to know where are we and what we're trying to do. And of course, I will shortly present our team and just to know how to, okay, yes, this one. So in this call, Alexander and I will be present. We are co-founders, and in last 10 years, we work with cities, with startup projects and digital solutions. So in this case, this 5 group of people from city of Niš want to solve something in their own city. And we want to tokenize the city. That's how we started. But first of all, we need to, like every startup, define the problems. And it's because that reason we organize 4 different round tables in the city level where the all necessary stakeholders was present, and we speak about the problems in the urban areas that still exist. So in this, that is very good move from our side because we work with the mayor, director of public institution, academia, NGO sector, and the media. So we defined in the first place by ourselves that 3 different problems exist in the lot of city in Balkans area, like city participation, pollution, recycling. But during these meetings, we realized that communication between the city and the citizen is the most important problem. I, like a citizen, when the election is finished, I don't have any communication between me and my city at all. So our digital solution is a mobile platform that incentivizes citizen activism and two-way communication with unique tokenization model. So this is the picture from the first year, what we realized during this process, but everything is related to the walking, city activism, recycling, and similar things. But in the next slide, we will see what's helped to me like a citizen. So I, like a citizen, regarding to all of these problems, have easy problem reporting, participation in decision maker, reading news, rewarding tokens, can exchange tokens, and a lot of payment that we provide for the citizen in the one app. And everything starts with the name, city, and me in different layers during the whole process. Of course, for the cities have a two-way communication between them and the citizens, concluding the polls, voting, manager reporting, rewarding program, and similar things. But let's go directly. First is reporting the problem. Like a citizen can directly obtain the type of the problem, location, picture, and directly go to the public institution who is charged to solving this problem. And when they solve, they use their own social network to present their own activities during this process. Second one is direct democracy, like we call on city survey, when we ask the citizen to give their thoughts on some specific subject and issue. And like in all Greece, we can vote in the city agoras, in this case, in platforms, and give that solution. We provide this action not just for the for example, city budget or the recycling in the city or sustainability in the parks and similar things. So more than 20% of the whole users use this survey part. But also we are the platform that provide the news for the citizen, and every day our journalists, because now we register even like a media, can provide the 5 city news that is not related with the politic and black chronic, but the service information that every citizen need to know every day. Also, we support on the Viber side, and now we have 71,000 users in the Viber chatbot. So that means that every third niche guy or girl is present in our platform right now. But when we speak about tokenization, I will just hold this. So application measure how many steps I made during the 1 month or how many kilometers I pass with a bike. So if I cross the 100 kilometers per each month, I can generate the token in my digital wallet. I can see how many tokens I have. And in the shops, I can see what can I get for that. So first, for the public institution, I have a ticket for cinema, ticket for theater for a football club, swimming pool, or I can have a lot of discount and awards from our partners for the local level. I can exchange my token with my kid. He can buy a healthy healthy food in a local bakery, or can I pay the bills also? But how things going when I go to the cafe? I earn a cafe, scanning the QR code of the waiter, give them the token, and I have a free coffee or discount in that concrete shop. But also I can pay the tree that we plant in the local park. I can see my name on that tree. I can see how many CO2 that's canceled during this period, or I can see the mark in the concrete tree, the local level. And this is more important because until now we planting more than 3,500 trees in the city area together with the public institution. And that the main reason is why we have a lot of users and they're present mostly all the time in the app. How we promote, and we start to include all local stakeholders in one place when we launch our event, and we called all these necessary guys and girls. And we have our Green Heroes, that is a big organization for support, big company. And we signed the agreement in this place. It's called Green Heroes Declaration. And that's the reason why include the whole big area of support in every city that we work with. A lot of cities, 9 cities until now, organization for support, and big and the small companies are our partners. The mayors, some of the mayors, thanks to a boost program, we signed the agreement with the city of Strumica, then city of Skopje. That's the biggest, actually the biggest municipality, Kisela Voda, and 5 cities in Serbia, 1 in Montenegro, and starting to work with Slovenia a few months ago. But when we speak about the result for countries, 9 cities, 35,000 users only in the app, and a lot of necessary data that we can show how many CO2 we cancel, how many steps we made, 18 billion steps, for example, and how many kilometers we riding a bike, and very nice mark in the shops. But this is our area now where we work with. We have a lot of partners, universities, cities, organizations for support, and we build a strong network thanks to this project and organization, and want to easily implement our solution in the next cities and countries. So very short from my side. Thank you. If I pass my time, I don't see the counter. So I now will stop talking. Thank you, Edith.
Thank you, Branko. You were well within the time. Thank you for sharing the project and some insights from it as well. We'll come back to you during the panel discussion. But for now, I will bring on the next speaker, Tomislav Mamic, who is the founder of Muka, a platform focused on civic participation and sustainability. And his project Zazelinimo enables citizens to propose, vote on, and co-fund green projects like community parks, etc., that are city-oriented, and this can be done through their phones. So over to you, Tomislav, to share a bit about the initiative and also how you're engaging with the cities.
Thank you, Aditi. And sorry for the complicated Croatian name. I'll have to change that. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so hi everybody. I'm Tomislav. And sorry, I'm hearing somebody. Okay, now it's okay. So hi everybody. I'd like to share with you the project I'm working on, which is trying to tackle an issue that most cities have, which is getting the small urban interventions done. One of the main tasks the city has is maintaining urban spaces. And it's not an easy task. Every day, a city has to check like thousands of options, like thousands of locations throughout the city that need some kind of repair or maintenance or upgrade. Think of like a small patch of land that needs a tree there. You know, it's logical that the tree would be there, but it was never planted. This part of the road was never finished or something. So there are thousands of locations like this throughout cities, and every day city has to make a decision like what to prioritize, which of these locations should we work on today. We have limited budget, we have limited resources for this, in terms of people, time, and everything. And this list of priorities becomes something that is at the same time hard to create, but also something that citizens are interested in. They want to have some tasks added to the priority list. And this is the tale as old as time, where you try to influence how the city manages public spaces so that something that bothers you gets done, fixed finally after years of neglecting it. The things like here, like this example in this photo, where this whole community would probably prefer if this space was cleaned up, if the grass was planted, trees, if the benches were refurbished, and so on. This is something that was experienced by my hometown, which is Split in Croatia. What they did is they have this company called Parks Company that is responsible for maintaining green spaces, but everything also that's touching the green spaces. So they can plant trees, but also they can place benches and bins and tap water and things like that. So they started doing a lot of work publicly, doing a lot more of these interventions, planting thousands of trees throughout the city. And what happened was, as they were posting these, the work they've been doing, they have started receiving messages from citizens. Can you please do this? Can you please do this? Like thousands of these messages of people who were asking, begging, or demanding, or requesting some interventions in their street, in their neighborhood, to be done immediately. So what they said is, okay, we love getting your proposals, but we cannot really act on all of them. It's too many for us. And we also have our own logic of getting this list of priorities created. So here's the deal. We will open a bank account where you can pay, pay some money, send us some money, and in description, say what you want to be done. And then we'll use this money for this intervention specifically. So it might not be today or tomorrow, but in the next couple of weeks when we get to it, we will do it. And because this money is going to decrease our costs. And they started, they did this for less than a year, and they got almost, or actually more than 50,000 euros from citizens. Most of the money came from companies, but most of the donations were from individual citizens. So I've been talking with the people who started this, and we realized that there is, this could be improved. We could do this on a larger scale, even better, make it easier. And this could actually be a great way for city to not just decrease this tension of getting things done, not only of making it easy for them to decide, but also kind of monetizing the way they prioritize the list. So they can let citizens who have a niche that they really want to get it done, they can actually let citizens pay for it, and then they will do it. So to summarize, we realized that engaging the citizens is the key to getting things done. When they started listening to citizens and improving these things, then the number of comments and messages started decreasing, because they have been addressing the most pressing issues the citizens had. But also they saved some of their budget. So we have the situation where citizens want to get some local small urban interventions done in the space. They would be willing to pay if this is going to speed up the work, or if it meant that they had to say how it's actually done, like what kind of tree or whatever, like if they prefer to have a bench there or something else. But the problem is that the way they did it with the open bank account that anybody can make a payment is really slow, really not so easy to use and not so straightforward. And we have built a application to actually solve this, to make this go smoothly, and for them to actually be able to easily receive these donations. So what Zazelenimo does is it facilitates this propose and donate process. And this is how it works. So before the 4 steps that are written here, the first key step is for city to say, here's a budget that we will devote for this, let's say 50,000 euros from our budget that we were intended to spend it on actually these improvements. But we will withhold it for now, and we will spend it accordingly to how you vote for projects. So when I say you, I mean citizens, they have to come and make a proposal, and then they vote for these proposals by donations. So they donate money, and these donations are turned into votes. Then we rank the proposals by the donors and donated amounts. And finally, we allocate the 50,000 euros from the initial budget to the proposals based on the ranking that we have created. And then the last step is implementing the selected and funded projects. And then we can repeat this every 3 months or 2 months. We can get these campaigns going all the time. What our platform actually provides, well, three key things are citizens can easily submit proposals, donations that act as votes for proposals, and then fair and transparent funding allocation. And I will talk more about the fair part later, because this is very important, and it's one of the key things that differentiates, that makes our proposal or our application different. So, as I said, first thing that you can do in our application is just create a proposal. So here you can provide some kind of a title, description, describe the location, add photos, your contact details, and just send it. And anybody can fill this out during the time when we are receiving the proposals. It's open for anybody. And then after you send the proposal gets into this public forum for public discussions. So here you can see a number of proposals that have been submitted. You can even see how many people have replied or how many views it had, when was the activity created, and things like that. So we provide this forum where you can enter, and then you can see the proposals. And then for each individual proposal, you can actually see the details. So here's, for example, details of one proposal and the whole discussion. So in this picture, you can see the title, the location, description, the photos, even the markings on the Google Maps that were made to indicate exactly where these locations are to make intervention. And then there is the reply from the city official that says, okay, we have went to the location, we examined this, and we don't think all of this area is actually doable. We can only do some parts of it, and so on and so on. So this forum actually enables you to, as a proposer, to discuss with city and the city officials to actually work on the proposals. After all the proposals are discussed, some are stashed away because either they are not good enough, or they're proposing to get something done which is legally not possible, or in the future there's some other plans for this area, and so on. And then after you get all of these invalid proposals away, what you keep is these good proposals, and you can publish them all on the website where citizen and public can see the proposals and browse them. You can see you can enter into one of the projects. You see the details, like how many supporters it has already, how much donations it has raised, percentage to the goal. Like this proposal, for example, has 90% already received. The title, description, who posted it, when, detailed description, location, and you can even share the project in social media. Then the next thing that you can, as a citizen or a company, do is you can create your donation plan. Basically,
Just maybe a minute to wrap up, and then we.
Okay. Sorry. Oh, okay. So you can create a donation plan. You can increase your impact with fairer allocation. For example, you can see here that if you contribute like €6 from this total city's budget, you will actually give to the project €70. So this is something that is key to getting citizens to participate. Basically, telling them if you donate some small amount of money, a large amount of money will go from the city's budget to this project. And now these are all different type of things about the application. I obviously don't have time for this. If you are interested in trying this out in your city, let me know. Here are my contact details. I'd be happy to work with you, even if it's just an idea stage. Thank you, and sorry for taking so long.
No, it's okay. Thank you so much for sharing about the project, and apologies we had to cut it short, but we'll bring this back again in the panel discussion. Meanwhile, there are some questions in the chat if you'd like to address to them there. Okay, moving on to our third presentation. We have joining us today Andre Vani Robin, the founder and CEO of Plastics, which is a blockchain-based platform that brings transparency to plastic waste recovery. So we'll hear a bit about how we are using blockchain-based technologies to be able to rethink plastic and waste management. Over to you, Andre, and looking forward to hearing from you.
Thank you very much, Aditi. Could everybody kindly confirm that they can see my screen?
Yes, but we see it. We don't see it in presentation mode.
You don't see it in presentation mode. Okay.
No.
All right. Well, in that case, I'm going to try again. And if not, can you confirm that you can see it in presentation mode?
Yes, now it works.
Now it works. Perfect. Thank you very much. Very grateful to be here with you all today. My name is Andre Vani Robin. I'd like to briefly introduce to you the idea as to why I founded the company 6 years ago. The Amazon forest was burning in 2018, and it was a climatic catastrophe. And I was wondering, what can I do as a normal citizen? What can I help with to fight climate change? And I came to the conclusion that as a normal citizen, it is very difficult to have a global impact because I am obviously taking care of my family, my life, my community, my friends, and therefore the responsibility of fighting climate change must come from the companies that sell the products and services to the market. And as a citizen, the power that I have is to choose the products and services from companies that have demonstrated a positive environmental impact. And if I am to choose products and services from companies that have demonstrated a positive environmental impact, how do I know that they have done a positive environmental impact? So I addressed the waste management industry because in the eyes of the public, that industry always lacked transparency regarding if the plastic waste is being collected and being recycled. And since the industry was built on two revenue sources, One of them, the collection of the plastic waste. The other one, the separation and sorting of that plastic waste to be sold to the recycling industry. The philosophy of plastics is to incentivize transparency by providing a third revenue source in the form of selling the data that proves that the plastic was collected and recycled. And as such, by developing a methodology and a technology that allows plastic waste recovery companies to issue digital certificates that guarantee that the waste was collected and recycled. Regulatory speaking, greenwashing is not just misleading, it actually takes away resources from real solutions. 42% of the green claims are exaggerated in the European Union. Companies are self-reporting sustainability without independent verification. And as I started my presentation, consumers demand proof. If they are to take actions, they need to know that these actions are meaningful and that the reason they took these actions, there will be accountability for the outcome of these actions. And of course, regulators are now demanding proof, not just claims. So the solution we developed over the last few years is essentially to verify the data related to the activity of collection and recycling, and to put on the blockchain this data so that it is transparent, public for everyone to see, immutable, so it cannot be manipulated, but also on the basis of a methodology that has been ISO certified to create this data so that consumers, stakeholders, governments can confirm that if they are making decisions on the basis of this data, the data is real. And to represent this data in a Web2 friendly format that anybody can see and understand. I'd like to use my corporate customer as a reference for our discussion today, Danone, that essentially started on their own a recovery program to collect a specific type of plastic and to recycle it. Our job has been to verify all of the recycling parties for Danone to guarantee that effectively the plastic bottles were collected, were recycled, and were reused to create new bottles on the basis of recovered materials. And Danone to use this information not only for its verifiable claim, but also to generate what we call plastic credits as potential sources of funding to be able to use the funds from the sale of these plastic credits for roadmaps that are chosen by partners to be able to have additional positive environmental impact. An example very relevant to us today is UNHCR, who is working with plastics to verify at the refugee camp level that the waste is being collected and recycled, to generate these extra sources of revenue on the basis of plastic credits and on the basis of carbon credits related to plastic removal. The core competency is verification of data and putting that data on blockchain, because trust is not built on words, it is built on proof. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing with us such a nice presentation and your approach towards problem solving. Again, like I mentioned before, please feel free to drop your questions in the chat. We will bring them back later in the session. And now we would like to move to our fourth speaker. Up next, we have Adri Wishman, who is the founder of Purpose Bound Tokens. Through this initiative, he focuses on creating programmable digital tokens that tie funds directly to verified green outcomes in the city. It's a way to bring greater accountability into how cities and donors spend on sustainability. Adri, over to you to share more about PB tokens.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. I hope everything is available now. And I'll press a few buttons and get my presentation on screen. Well, first of all, thank you for having us in this conference. It's a big honor to be here. I'm going to talk about multi-knip, and I want to do a few things. I'm going to talk about what it is and what we do and how we do it. I'm going to talk about use cases that are already running and in the pipeline, and we're going to do a demo on screen. We're going to tempt the gods of the live demo. First of all, the elephant in the room, our app is GDPR proof. I've worked with many governmental agencies, etc., and this is one big thing. Our app is fully anonymous. You don't have to register on any platform. Citizens don't need a bank account, so we can help the unbanked. You don't even need an email address. And if you are special needs or a child that doesn't have a smartphone, you can even use it without a smartphone, just with a kind of credit card application. So that is very important. The other thing which is very important in Europe is if you put anything of value on the blockchain, you're going to have to talk to regulators and central banks, etc. We were in the European blockchain regulatory sandbox for the last 8 months as one of the 20 selected companies in Europe. And as a result of that, we are exempt of MiCAR, so we can really store value on the blockchain, and the central banks of Poland, Greece, Cyprus, Italy, Spain, the Netherlands, Slovakia, Slovenia, etc. They know what we've been doing. We have been talking to them, and they are very enthusiastic. What I'm going to show you is inspired by my grandmother's wallet. She had a wallet with compartments, and every compartment had its own purpose, its own money. She had rent money, grocery money, clothing money, holiday money. Like I said, every cent had its own purpose, its own goal. Now, sometimes she cheated a little bit. She used a little bit less holiday money and a little bit more clothing money when she wanted to buy new shoes. And with our wallet, that is not possible, because it is not your money, but it is money from the government. It's a subsidy for buying solar panels. It's a subsidy for buying plants and trees, etc. So let me tell you how this exactly works. We have a wallet on your phone with money from different kinds of budgets, the Green Deal or any other taxpayers' money, which people can spend on lots of different topics. But since we are here about the green purpose, and this can be plants and trees, but also saving energy, I will focus on that. This money is programmable. We made a second layer solution on top of fiat money. Well, you cannot program fiat money, euros, dollars, yens, etc. So we put a layer on top where we enforce the rules, and the settlement is always in fiat money. Now, what is programmable money? It is money with rules inside. The issuer of the money determines who gets how much, where they can spend it, on what, and when. And they only pay the money to the retailer, the shop, or whatever, if the money is spent. not if it's as long as it's in the wallet of the citizens. It was all inspired by a question that my municipality asked me in 2021. We had some money to distribute to houses to make them more energy efficient. And the municipality distributed paper vouchers, but nobody used them. At the end of the year 2021, only 16% of the budget was claimed, even though they sent letters to all the homes, 3 letters, which cost them an extra 60,000 euros. Only 16% in 7 months was used. Now, we designed Energy Knip. And Energy Knip is a wallet on your phone, which is activated by a QR code. And with that money, the people could buy energy-saving products, LED lighting, lots of other things. We sent out the first QR code on January 11th, and on January 24th, 13 days later, 100% of the budget was claimed. So the city doubled the money, and that took just 11 days. It was a very, very big success. They gained a lot of information, although the people were giving that information totally anonymous. And that is a big trick nowadays with IP addresses you can trace, etc. But this was fully anonymous. So other cities came and we did larger projects. We did a project for against energy poverty. As soon as the war started, energy prices tripled or quadrupled here in Holland, and lots of people on social income were unable to pay their energy bills. And the government set aside 200 million to help these people. Municipalities came to us and they said, listen, if we give these people 250 euros, at least some of them might go a weekend to Paris, spend the money on something different and not on lowering their energy bill, saving energy, etc. So we designed an application where people can only spend that money towards saving energy. We did that also for Groningen, a bigger city, where we used coins for making companies more energy efficient, and coins to install charging stations for electric vehicles, and coins to make green roofing. So the company would get a number of coins, 1 per square meter, and they could go to 5 selected companies that would make their roof with, how do you call it, grass. So it would store water and it would keep the building cooler in summer. Now, there are lots and lots of examples I can give you. There was a Belgian city that came to us and they said, well, listen, we have heat stress in our city. It gets too hot because of the asphalt and the buildings. So help us. And we designed coins with which you can only buy shade-producing trees and plants. So they could distribute this money inside the center. Everybody who had a garden or a balcony got this money. They could not buy anything else than this new way of generating shade. Now, the examples I gave you are, you give, as the city, you give coins to citizens. The citizens take these coins and to a shop. They buy the only thing that is allowed, and the shop will get the money. But you can also turn around the business model and say that you want to, I'll give an example. There is a city that wants to distribute bicycles to refugees to increase their mobility. Now, they could, in the old ways, called AliExpress and ordered 100 bicycles and just give them away. But in our system, we distributed QR codes to bicycle shops where citizens could bring their bicycles that they don't use anymore, and they would get a number of coins in return, which can only be spent at local restaurants. Go and have dinner on us. Then the bicycle shop, you give 50 euros to clean up the bicycle, and the refugees, you give coins to collect a bicycle. Now I have happy citizens, happy restaurants, happy bicycle shops, happy refugees, happy municipality, and I saved 200 bicycles from the scrapyard doing circular economy. So lots of things are going on and where programmable money can save the day. Now, let me, in the last minute, do a transaction. This can be used not only for green things, but also for lots of other sustainable development goals. I'll do a transaction on my phone. Here you can see our wallet, and the wallet can have many different coins for different purposes. The retailer, the shop, has the same app from the App Store, but it is activated with a different QR code, which turns his app into a point of sale, a PIN machine. Now, a transaction is as follows. The person in the shop, working in the shop, presses register, they give a price, and I'll just give a description and generate a QR code. The person with the wallet comes in, presses the scan QR code button, and it will show, oh, you want to pay that number of coins for that and that to that and that vendor. Yes or no? I'll press yes, because when I press no, it would be a very short demonstration. Now, the coins are transferred from the wallet of the citizen to the merchant, and the next day, the merchant will have the fiat money in his bank account automatically. They don't have to do anything to receive them. We can see the transaction here. If you press on a coin, you can see the vendors where you can use the coins. You can see history. You can even see where on Google Maps you can use this money. That's in a nutshell. You can do many more things. You can also communicate. Although the people are anonymous, you can still send them messages. The wallet knows which message belongs to which coin. And we did lots of different use cases here in the Netherlands. We're also now working in Germany. If you have any question, these are our contact details, or scan my QR code to get directly into contact. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Adri. Thank you. And it was really cool to see the live transaction on the app as well. Again, we'll have more questions and time for it towards the end. But now we have our final speaker, Luis Carvel, who is the accelerator lead for the Boost Acceleration Program under the Slovak Transformation Fund. Today, Luis is going to introduce a little bit about the new Boost cycle, what's in store, what do we have in plan, and the idea is to use this to help cities and solution providers sort of work together for enabling digital solutions in this twin transition, green transition space. So over to you, Luis, to share a bit about Boost.
Hi, everyone. First of all, I just want to say that I'm super impressed with the solutions that have been presented. We were just reflecting, it's all on blockchain. The future is already here, and I can imagine that we can deploy this in so many cities in Europe and Central Asia where we work. But enough about that. I now want to present Boost, which is an acceleration program that we run here at UNDP. And I also just want to mention that we actually have some of the presenters today have participated in the Boost Accelerator. So we've been working with them to improve their pitch decks and really deploy these solutions more widely. And if you want to know more, you can also go into the boostimpact.org. But I will just give you a short introduction today and give you more details about upcoming programs that we are designing at the moment. I'm not sure how I can remove the header there, but I think it's fine. So how does Boost work? as I mentioned, it's a business acceleration program. So what we aim to do is to solve specific problems using innovative solutions. So what we start with is defining a problem. For example, our previous accelerator program had identified that cities are struggling to fund and finance key important initiatives. So that was the problem, and we were looking for solutions, innovative financing solutions that could help cities overcome this. So, for example, City and Me is a great example. Even if it's not fiat money, these tokens or the money in the app can, of course, be used to do different things. So it's an innovative way of using finance. We run or we design an innovation challenge. So we decide exactly what type of solutions or companies we want to work with. Should they come from a specific region? Should they focus on a specific sector? Could it be a civil society organization or a business? We have very specific selection criteria, so we know what we're looking for. We run this challenge and we open up a call for applications, and we then have a number of organizations that we shortlist and bring on board. Through a couple of weeks, up to a couple of months, we then go through an acceleration process. And this normally entails capacity building trainings. We do a lot of focus on impact. We help these businesses really prepare to sell their product or launch or develop a pilot. And after the finishing of the program, we do a pitch event. And the most promising businesses will then be able to receive funding to test or implement their innovations. So we have two of our winners here today with us on the panel. So what's up next? Well, we have a new program in the development. It's a new boost program for urban transformation. And if you recall, Aditi presented in the beginning of this call, the twin transition, basically the green transition that cities need to undertake, and the digital transition that's happening simultaneously. So what we are looking for is to kind of help this transition to happen in cities in the region where we work, which is primarily Eastern Europe. So this new program, like I mentioned, it's really about putting twin transition into action. So we want to support cities and innovators like the ones we've met today, to co-develop, test, on or scale green solutions that address urban challenges. And just to kind of highlight some things that we find really important. And I think these solutions really, were really good examples. It's about systems change. It's not about doing a single project that's just going to solve one problem. It's about thinking differently, addressing different challenges and problems that citizens face. So we have to have a system kind of thinking approach. How all different problems are interconnected. And someone is drawing on my computer. I don't know how that's working. But, the second focus area, of course, is inclusive and green digital solutions. There are so many different solutions out there, but we think that this is an area where there's a lot of potential. And we think also this is an area where cities need a bit of support. The final component of this program is partnerships and finance. We know that public institutions, cities don't have enough money to develop and roll out all of this and solve all these issues on their own. I think Tomislav's example is, showcases that clearly. So we need new types of partnerships and new types of financing, blended, private, whatever it might be. So I think we need to have all this in mind when we roll out this new program. So what is it that we want to achieve? Well, one thing that's really important for us, since so much is happening, is first to source solutions. We want to identify digital and green solutions that are designed to address urban challenges. Another thing we want to do is to match make. So we know that cities have issues. They don't know potentially what solutions are out there that could help them overcome them fast. So we want to identify and match. Another thing that's really important for us is, of course, to demonstrate relevance and impact. And I think we've heard this from several presentations. It's not just about claiming impact. We really need data. We need to be able to show what value this is bringing to our citizens or the city itself. And then, of course, strengthen collaboration and capabilities around this. It's easy to think that a partnership will just happen because you have a great solution and a city that is interested. This requires, capabilities, strategies, frameworks that allow it to happen, and of course, funding that model. So this is something that we're looking into. Timeline for this. Right now, we have just started the design of the Innovation Challenge. We're trying to understand what specific problems we want to address. We have 10 cities that we are working with, and they have already specific areas that they are focusing on, anything from waste management to urban spaces, some of the topics we've heard here today. So we're trying to narrow down a specific problem and design an innovation challenge that's fit for that. In September, we aim to launch this call for expression of interest to hear from innovators from all around the world, not necessarily just in our region. October will be time for review, selection, and a bit of acceleration, supporting these businesses so that they are fit to present and do, their presentation to cities. November, we will matchmake with cities, and if everything goes according to plan, we will have joint proposals or cities and businesses coming together and applying for an innovation award to get funding and support from us to implement. I hope that is clear. So now I was hoping to use this opportunity to actually get a bit of help from you guys, because as much as we know how to run innovation challenges and acceleration programs, we are not working in cities and we are not the innovators. You know best what issues and what opportunities you see in this space. So I am going to change my screen here and see if I can do this. And hopefully you will see a QR code. I would ask you to kindly use your telephones or mobile phones to use this QR code. And I will ask you a few questions. I'm going to give you a minute or so. Okay, I don't see you guys, so I'm going to go ahead. If I need to stop, I hope that Aditi or Svetla will stop me. So the first question, and this is really, from your own experience, what is the biggest barrier preventing cities and innovators to test or implement digital green solutions together? We've heard some already, but maybe you have specific experience or something that you feel haven't been covered today. And anything is okay. This is anonymous as well. Bureaucracy, culture, context, and behavior, information and perspective. Yeah, legislation, rules, trust. Trust is a big one. Governance and ownership challenges, time, money, innovation is scary. Yeah. Who would deal with the solution in the city level? Lack of finance, cooperation between stakeholders, finance and desire, path dependency. Here we have again, lack of trust, changes, digital infrastructure that is public and trustworthy. Monopoly. Of course, war and other risks is definitely a huge barrier. Lack of awareness. This is really interesting. I think some of the things we have thought about, the trust, of course, actors with perhaps very different objectives, ideas of how to work together. Another one which I find interesting is this one, lack of awareness. And this is, one of the things that we hope to do through our boost programs in general, and particularly this new one, to showcase what innovations are out there and how can cities plug into all these solutions that could help them engage better or deliver better services. Bureaucracy, procurement, these are things that also come up a lot. What we hope to be able to do with our program, of course, is to, we're not going to break any rules or laws, but when we pilot, when we test, when we do things through this program, it gives us a little bit of space to play around and test. And I think this is very good for building the capabilities and the trust and the desire to try it. Okay, I think we're done. I'm going to go to the next question, and this is a multiple answer question. I think you can pick two. What kind of support do you think the Boost program should prioritize in this next cycle? And here we have a lot of different ones. I'm going to give it a few minutes. Thirty more seconds. Okay, so very interesting. We have the top three here is matchmaking between cities and solution providers, facilitation of partnerships and collaboration processes, and support for piloting and testing solutions in real urban environments. I would have thought that access to funding and innovative financing models would have been top. It normally is. Funding is, of course, a very important aspect when we want to test things. But I think it's interesting to see that the matchmaking and the collaboration itself for testing and for scaling is really core, according to you guys. Okay, then as a last thing, I wanted to ask you, a lot of you are already in the space. I'm sure you meet other entrepreneurs in the space, or if you're a city, you might have heard about solutions that you think are interesting. And I just want to pick your brain. If you are aware of any solutions that you think we should engage with, either to learn from their experience or even consider, to invite to participate in our program, feel free to drop them here. This doesn't mean anything. It's just for us to kind of get a sense of what's out there, who are some cool organizations we should look into. 40 cities. Do we have any others? Yes, we do. Plastic. UNDP, GIZ. So we are UNDP. I'm particularly thinking about businesses, or it could also be foundations, of course, sitting on specific solutions like the ones we've seen today. Okay. Thank you so much. I will do the following. Oh, here we have some more. Urban trips. Cool. I will look into this. You can also continue writing. Oh, here we get some more. I will close this now, but feel free to add more. See, we have more, many more. Cool. So that's all from me. Thank you so much. If you have more ideas, comments about challenges that you think that we should be aware of, support that you think is crucial for businesses and for cities to be successful in the collaboration, I would really want to hear from you. I will put my email address down here, and you can reach out to me directly, or just contact the organizers of this event and they will facilitate. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Louise. Thank you so much. Since we're running a bit late, I will now request Swetanor to bring everyone into the spotlight so we can kick off the panel discussion. And if that can happen quickly, my first question will be to Branko and Tomislav, and this is more about using these everyday actions. So your tools make it easier for people to take everyday green actions, put it in their regular daily contexts. But in practice, what really drives participation from citizens? What have you learned about how people respond? What motivates them, and how to really design for sustained engagement in such practices? So maybe we start with Branko and then to Tomislav for answering this question.
Yes, thank you, Aditi, for this question. And thank other speaker for the lovely presentation. I can see a lot of potential collaboration between us because the similar, in some way, things happen. So in this case, count on us if it's possible. But related to your question, in City and Me, I think we learn what truly drives participation in visible and immediate value in this local relevance and the feeling that one action actually matters. And when the users earn a rewarding for example, reading a story about their own neighborhood, or for recycling or walking or receiving a discount in the nearby shop, that motivation become the most important thing personal, and we build a long-term engagement by combining gamification, tokens with a real-world value and hyper-local context. Because I think what's happened 2 minutes from me is always more relevant than the global messages.
So if I had to summarize it, I think localization is key, so you can relate to the problems and also respond accordingly. Got it. Over to you, Thomas.
Yeah, I think I can lean into this, what Branko said. So what motivates individual people is what they care about, and what they care about a lot is the space that they use. So they can influence the space that they own, the land that they own, their apartment. But when they step outside on the public land, suddenly they don't have the ability to shape it in the ways that they want to, which in some cases it's fine because it's already probably good enough, but in some cases it's not, and people would go extreme lengths to actually to get a place where the kids are playing at in a nice shape. They want to walk down the nice road with a shade and not the ugly road full of rubbish and parked cars, so they can't even walk and things like that. So this is what makes them willing to engage and propose solutions, and then also get all of their neighbors and friends and families to also engage and to get this proposal actually passed. And then once they see that this actually has an effect, that the change actually happens, for some of them, it just creates this addiction. They want to continue proposing new things and getting new proposals passed and implemented.
Great. Thank you so much. I think, again, here, what stood out for me was that really looking at their daily experiences and then including them in reshaping how they rethink, redesign, reimagine how they interact with city spaces and city aspects. Great. Thank you both for your reflections. I will now move to my second question, and this is more for Andre and Adri. All of us here, but you specifically are using blockchain and other emerging tools to solve long-standing sustainability problems. So, plastics, waste management, these are things that we've heard about quite a bit, and you're looking at it from a very different perspective. So what's it been like introducing these new technologies, new types of rethinking the problems in real world city systems, especially with local governments, service providers, residents, and what makes that possible, and what gets in the way in that sense. So, what works, what doesn't work when working with emerging tech in city contexts.
Go ahead, Adri, please.
Okay. That's a very small question, which needs a very long answer, but I'll try to speed it up a little. We've been working a lot with local government, right? Different cities, provinces, even the government itself. And there is one thing that is the biggest problem, that is the word blockchain, right? Because the word blockchain, together in one sentence with the word sustainability, has its problems. Because the first reaction you will get talking to a public servant is, oh, blockchain, isn't that the technology that uses more electricity than Argentina? So we have to convince them first. We have to explain to them first that our transactions are even more energy efficient than a bank transaction energy costs. So that's one thing. And what we've learned is, well, we have 100,000 users at the moment. 99,800 don't know they are using blockchain. I've been in European projects like Interreg Project Bling, blockchain in government, and we stole this quote from the movie Fight Club. First rule of Fight Club, don't mention Fight Club. First rule of blockchain, don't mention blockchain, right? Because people will have all these ideas in their head of Bitcoin and energy and lots of things. So that's been our first challenge. If you go over that hurdle, if you make your app very user-friendly, 2 buttons to pay, then it becomes a lot easier, and people are happy to use it, very enthusiastic to use it, but avoid the word blockchain.
From our perspective, we approached the challenge of the information that is put on blockchain, because the obvious benefit of blockchain is its immutability, and it's obviously transparency. So everybody knows that, and when you are using blockchain and you put data on it, it cannot be changed anymore. It cannot be manipulated. The challenge is, well, is it true in the first place? So we decided to have a hybrid approach by adopting and actually developing and adopting our methodology according to ISO management processes, so that we could guarantee that effectively the information that is published on a blockchain is true and trustworthy. And that going beyond the actual technical aspect of what blockchain is, allows to build frameworks for monetization, because ultimately you need to finance environmental impact, and the budgets are what they are, and so alternative funding mechanisms are necessary. And you cannot fund a project unless you are sure that the project you are funding is going to be implemented. You cannot fund the project unless you're sure that the project implemented is actually going to have an impact. And that in of itself is what we addressed by combining both. So ultimately, we believe that the building block is definitely a hybrid approach of verifying the data and putting the data publicly available so that it cannot be manipulated or changed. And then from there, allowing city governments, and we are starting our relationships with a couple, to be able to build their monetization programs on that infrastructure. And that's why it's much more attractive than a centralized database, because ultimately, you know, there is accountability behind the data.
Thank you both for your reflections. Again, I think what stood out to me was never use blockchain while working with blockchain. So don't sell the tech, really sell the user need, the user solution, and the experience. So that would be a key takeaway. And then from what you, Andre, said, I think it's about enabling trust, reliability, a surety of how your solutions are going to work, and that it will create the impact it has promised. So these were some key takeaways from what you shared. Thank you so much. Now I have a question for Luis. Which is more around Boost in that sense. So we've seen 4 different solutions and digital tools that ultimately support greener, sustainable cities. From your experience at Boost, what helps these ideas move beyond the pilot phase, and how can the new Boost cycle help both cities and innovators, solution providers build real partnerships that stick, that work in various geographies as well?
Thank you for this question. So I think this doesn't only apply to Boost or cities. I think in general, what we see is a lot of cool ideas being tested, but they're not designed to actually bring value in the long run. We're testing technology, for example, or we're bringing value for a very short period of time. They're not scalable. So we need to be able to understand what value it brings to the residents in our city or to the municipality, or who's implementing the solution very clearly. It needs to be measurable. Otherwise, it will be very difficult to get a budget to continue this solution or the service. And that is my second point. Finding solid business models for the continuation beyond the pilot phase is really important. In some cities, of course, there is budget, there's public funding, but that isn't always the case, and definitely not in the regions and the countries and cities where we work. This means that we need to look into different models, and seeing what Branko is doing, for example, with all these different businesses, public institutions, it's very inspiring, and I would love to learn more about how that financial model is keeping this business going. But to answer what we at Boost can do, I mean, we really want to help the businesses, first of all, communicate the value that it brings to the city, so that cities understand that this could be a useful tool. Help really build these partnerships so that there's funding and a continuation. I mean, we know there's a lot of change within cities, so it needs to be more solid than just one person liking the idea, right? It needs to be really integrated. And I think, developing processes, frameworks for these types of partnerships, especially if a city hasn't done it before, is key. And I think UNDP has a lot to add here. And then, of course, the funding itself, to get it going is really important. But those are the 3 things. The value, the model, and also the foundation for the partnership.
Great. Thank you so much. And thank you for summarizing yourself, what you just shared. No, this is great, I think. And this is also almost like an opening discussion of where Boost can go and what type of solutions can really be brought to the cities. We have 10 more minutes, and I see that you have been answering questions very kindly over the chat. So I will take this opportunity to ask one more question to all of you, and feel free to respond the way you'd like. So this is more from a city perspective. If a local municipality or anybody at the city level wants to start exploring new tech, new types of digital tools and solutions to support greener goals, sustainable city practices, help to the residents, but of course feel unsure, what's one simple piece of advice you'd like to give them so they can start, they can break that ice and get into the space well? Any advice that can come from you as solution providers and also as curators of these experiences?
I think it's very simple. Governments, local governments, cities have a different mindset than entrepreneurs, right? Entrepreneurs, I'm looking at my screen right now. We are looking for tech and new opportunities and having an edge on our competition, etc. Government, not so much. Government thinks in risks, and it's a very nice project, but what's it gonna cost? What is in the long term, etc.? What risk do I have? So my advice is start small, but start. Right? Because most of the local governments and cities wait until the perfect opportunity, which is absolutely riskless, which doesn't cost a thing, etc., comes by, and it never comes by. So if you want to minimize risk, do a small project first, but start. And this is the key to success.
Great. Anybody else?
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, Branko.
Andre? Okay, Branko. I'm not the oldest one, just to know. Well, I totally agree that with Adri, with the small solution. But then I think that how the mayors and how the cities work in the Western Balkan, they want to build something that be applicable for the next election. They don't think about the user needs, but just only that it can be shown in the next period. I totally agree with Adri that you need to pick a small solution, but there is another problem. Who will do with that solution in the city level? So I wrote during the Louis question a little bit before. Who is the important person in the city level who will do not matter or my solution and any other guys that they have. So in this case, give the opportunity to the small local companies to provide this solution and deal with that all the time. In that case, I am not an NGO. You will give me the opportunity to build something. I am company that need to be sustainable all the time. So I will care with my baby all the time. In this case, so just give me the opportunity and I will help you to grow. Thank you.
Go ahead,
Great.
Louise.
Okay, I'm coming in from a bit of a different angle, but I think I, as a practitioner in this space, learning from cities, I've also realized how incredibly like there's so much happening around innovation in cities, and the cities that have been successful are so keen to share this experience. There's basically a network for any type of sector area. I mean, it's the blue economy, the green economy, a specific technology. There are networks and real life experience and case studies basically everywhere. So, like, get out there and contact them. I'm sure they will show what they did and the mistakes they did and guide you. And that is just one advice. And then how you do it then in practice is probably something that these entrepreneurs we have here can showcase or share more, but there's just so much knowledge out there. And don't be scared to ask for help, and people are really interested in sharing.
Thanks, Louise. Over to you, Andre.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Aditi. From our experience, whether it's state, municipal, or even private organizations, KPIs are the drivers behind the performance measurement of each department, of each role, and having verified data that you can actually communicate, that you can use internally and externally to articulate the impact that you're having is key. So embarking in innovation has to be on the basis of data that is trustworthy, that has a accountability component to it, so that everybody else in the government or at the departmental level can actually assume that whatever innovation they're expecting to do is on the basis of trustworthy data that can be proven. So KPIs at municipal government level are very important, especially in our industry in waste management, which has notoriously always been very opaque, lack of transparency, lack of real data, and that's the basis for all the new legislation that's coming up. And then, of course, innovation can flourish.
Thank you so much, Andre. Anything from you, Tomislav, on this?
Well, I would like to just say that there are people in cities that deal with very common issues that other cities are dealing with, and we just need to find them and talk with them and realize how we as innovators and entrepreneurs can actually help them out. And this is how I started. So I think this is the best way. Start from the problem and from the people who actually deal with the problem.
Great. Aditi, can I add something?
Yes, of course.
I think also the crucial word I also write it and related to Louis' conversation is a sandbox. So give the small startups from your town opportunity to test something in conditions. So for one street, for one building, whatever. No, don't give a huge contract with them with the payment and similar things, but just give them this opportunity, because for us, like a startuppers, if I can say, in the aim of all of these guys, it's very important to have this test period. And then if we are good, we will show you that you need to work with us, especially if we are a local level. So maybe this is also advice for UNDP. So in the next period, which of this city will be the sandbox test city for the new startups immediately after the solution? So maybe, sorry about this, but just small advice to you.
You're right. The first cities are always the hardest to get.
Yes, fully agreed. And testing and trying and learning is also a practice that we believe in, that should be incorporated, especially when you're working in such fast-paced, changing contexts and environments. But thank you so much for your insights. I have a list of summaries, but I will share it with everybody after the call. But I'd like to take the last 2 minutes to firstly thank all the speakers. You took the time out to share about your solutions, your projects, and really have this dialogue around how to enable green transitions through digital tools and solutions. I hope this leads to more collaboration with the city teams that are present in the participants today. Thank you to the interpreters who kindly interpreted the whole session as we spoke and had so much dialogue around. To everybody who came in, joined us, asked questions, engaged, and of course to the internal team who helped in putting this all together. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I hope this was insightful. We will have more such talks coming up, so we are looking forward to engaging in a continued dialogue on urban transformation. And you will hear more on Boost soon from Luis as well. Thank you so much, and looking forward to hearing your updates again. Thank you.
Thank you.